So we got some MLB The Show gameplay. We got the gameplay trailer today, and this is interesting because I think MLB The Show after the last few years has been in a bit of a difficult spot going into this new year. 23, well, 22, 23, and 24 to me were some of the most copy and paste MLB The Show games that I have ever seen. And I skipped 22. I played 23 halfway through the season. I picked it up during the All-Star break. They had a sale. MLB 24, I waited until September when it came to PlayStation Plus, and it had the lowest play time I think I ever had on an MLB The Show game, under 100 hours, which for me is not much. In this trailer, though, I will say, it does feel like they are really packing in the content that will be a part of MLB 25. The big stuff, I remember criticizing this last year. Road to the Show sucks. That mode sucks. It's super outdated and old and boring. And it used to be everybody's favorite mode, and they even used to say it was the most played mode, and they interestingly stopped saying that over the last couple of years, but it looks like it's getting a huge overhaul. They're adding high school, they're adding college, they're adding metal bats, they're adding high school and college fields and actual licensed college teams, which is really cool, to go along with a few of the cover athletes with Skeens and Gunner on the cover this year. And that's really exciting for a mode that was like really becoming unplayable and just not fun anymore. For it to get an overhaul to that extent is very cool, and hopefully in Diamond Dynasty, for all the Diamond Dynasty people, they'll add those metal bats and college uniforms and whatnot that you can use when you're playing that mode. Now, they also mentioned in the pre-order page a very tiny addition to franchise mode, which it's just kind of expected these days. I think they're adding defensive war and quote-unquote improved trade logic, which means they're not going to add anything to that mode. It seems like where they got a lot of the additions, in addition to Road to the Show, is Diamond Dynasty. They're adding a new game mode, a weekend league, something called Diamond Quest, which is all cool. They got rid of sets and seasons, which is really not so much of an like addition, but just something that people didn't like that they got rid of. And we also got some new legends. We got Roger Clemens and Manny Ramirez, which are two people a lot of people have wanted in the game. I've wanted Manny for a while. I thought he'd be in the game last year because of MLB 24, but better late than never, and that's all exciting. However, this is the first year that the game is on PS5 and Xbox only, right? And Switch, but that's, I think, a little bit separate. No more PS4, no more Xbox One, and look, I'm not saying that the game looks bad. It does not look bad objectively. If you have not played MLB The Show before, the game looks good. A lot of times it looks very realistic. But it has looked almost identical for the last 5 years, and that's not great when most of those were on PS4. And people were wondering why they stuck with previous gen for so long, because I'm going to say this right now. I think they could probably get away with it this year because they're adding actual gameplay elements to MLB, which doesn't happen super often. But next year, if the game still looks like this, there's no graphical engine overhaul, which is what they need. I think at this point, that's what they need. If there's no graphics overhaul, more people are going to start complaining. The people that defend the game no matter what only look at the positives, which, look, I'm all for the positive. There's a lot of good stuff in this trailer. A lot of it looks exciting. But when I see the graphics, it looks the same. It just looks the same. The players look stiff. The jerseys look stiff. The ballparks, the grass and the dirt look terrible. They look so bad, just outdated, no texture. And they showed off like some texture on the jerseys. The elevated font, the jersey patches have texture now. So maybe it's coming, right? Maybe in the next 3 years, they'll do some sort of graphical improvement as we are on the new hardware. But by this point, we will not see a graphical overhaul until the next generation of consoles, which is very disappointing, I think, for people like me who I'm a big graphics guy, I want the game to look good, and again, it does look good. I was playing MLB 24 like last week, and I was like, wow, I forgot how good this game looks. But then the trailer to 25 comes out, and it looks the same. It looks exactly the same. And the game, I think, will feel different because there's different modes, but graphically, it looks stale. There's gameplay from MLB 19 and 18, and it's not that it doesn't look different, but it doesn't look that different. And when you're looking at, games like WWE 2K and Madden and all of these games that went next gen a while ago, or next gen only, and then MLB 25 comes around, it's like, wow, this looks the same. All the ballparks look just kind of dead, and I don't know. It's hard to describe other than like everything looks very flat. It doesn't look like it's got a lot of life to it, and I can't help but feel like maybe this year they focused on a lot of these gameplay additions, and they'll focus on graphics next year, because I think even they at this point have to know that people are getting a little tired of this game looking the same. I mean, the jerseys don't move. They are very much borderline painted on at this point. There's a lot that seems like it could look better, and it still doesn't. And you're charging $70, and it's not going to be on Game Pass. It's not going to be on PS Plus this year. I guess later in the year, not going to be on. I don't know, man. I mean, I know these Legends cost a lot of money, but like, I think people like to, when you show off a trailer, they like to be wowed, like, whoa, this game looks insane. Look at these graphics, and it just doesn't. It doesn't look insane. It looks good. Looks good. It's looked good for the last 5 years, and in all of those instances, it's looked exactly the same. I think last year was the first time they added hair movement. So, we're easing our way, making progress, but I don't know. I haven't bought the game on release for like 4 years. I think 21 was the last time I bought it, right when it came out, at the early access and all that, and since then I just have yet to see an MLB game that seems like it's worth purchasing on day one, and hurts me as someone that used to do that every single year. It was something I would look forward to. I will say, as we saw a few Legends in this trailer, and they're getting rid of sets and seasons, which I think is going to go back to helping them mask sort of the lack of Legends in the game. And these are big. Manny and Roger Clemens, Cool Papa Bell, big Legends for the game. But they need, this year specifically, they need to add like 50 new Legends. Like, and not all of them need to be, Hall of Fame, all-time great players, right? I'm talking like Paul LaDuca, Russell Martin, Mark Loretta, Nomar Garciaparra, like, I don't know, fucking Doug Minkiewicz, like, just BJ Upton, Jorge Cantu, just guys that people grew up rooting for and were on their hometown teams. Mark Ellis, like the Oakland A's. Give the Oakland A's some more people, man. Goddamn, that poor franchise. Give the Rays some more people. Like, I don't know. Go get Ben Zobrist back in the game. Like, they need significantly more. I think the name value is cool. It is. But, you need way more Legend variety than they have. Adding a couple of big names every year is just going to take way too long. And also the fact that MLB seems to lose the rights to Legends without any knowledge as to why. They lost Jake Peavy randomly. Cliff Floyd's not in the game anymore. Curtis Granderson just came back. That can't happen. You can't lose like lower tier Legends like that. It doesn't seem like that should be, like, once they're in, they're in. You have to figure out a way to prevent these players from just dropping out of the game. It hurts the value of Diamond Dynasty and all-time franchises and all these sorts of game modes. So I hope that, a few years ago we got a Legends trailer that I think was one new Legend for every team. That's a big deal. That's 30 new Legends. And a lot of these times these guys played on multiple teams. They get a lot of crossover and whatnot, which is very cool for all-time builds and all that. But last year we got like 3. Like, we got Adrian Beltre, Joe Mauer, Johan, Andy Pettit, Bernie Williams, CC. Good, good, but not enough. Not enough. We need like 20, 30 every year. Because MLB The Show probably has the worst, smallest Legends pool of any of these sports games, which is not great when baseball has the longest history of all of these sports. So you'd think there would be more of them. I mean, like all-time greats, Joe DiMaggio, not in the game, right? Like Albert Pujols retired a few years ago, not in the game. Miguel Cabrera, not in the game anymore. Like, we lose these players and they don't replace them with anyone. So hopefully guys like Manny and Roger Clemens are an indication that they're getting some big names, but then when we get the Legends trailer, maybe we get some of the smaller players that people used to root for when they were growing up. Just, they can be random. They don't have to be these outstanding, Hall of Famers. Just give us some of these random players that we used to love. That's all I got to say for now. The trailer looks interesting. I'm definitely excited to hear more about these additions and sort of where they see the game going this year, because 24 has a pretty terrible reputation and they're going to have to rebuild that over the next few years at least. It's going to take a decent chunk of time now, but I'm excited to learn more, and we'll see how this all starts to play out.